You're listening to the Major Pod Network, the only place where your favorite toy store, card shop, arcade, theme park, and arena are all on the same block. Scratch that major itch.
This is Tony Chimmel, and I'd like to introduce the hosts of the Game Marks podcast, George Feis and Johnny Clash.
Welcome to the Game Marks podcast presented by the Major Pod Network. I'm the man they call Johnny Clash. What a company guy you are.
Oh, you know what? I told that company line. And I am Mr. Anything is Feasible, George Feis, and today we are playing WrestleMania 19. How is this game going to hold up? Is it going to get a play it forever? Woo! Or a future endeavor?
You're fired!
We also discussed the potential return of the Def Jam series of games, and a whole lot more.
Don't forget to subscribe and leave a 5-star review for this podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Follow us on all forms of social media at GameMarksPod, and check out the exclusive content we're creating at patreon.com/GameMarksPod. I pulled it out. The game is right here. WrestleMania 19 is in my hand. This is... You know when you lose an old game, you're like, I wonder where that game went. I have never let go of this one. It has been here forever. Oh, there's 2 games in here. The Sims Bustin' Out is in here as well.
Oh,
that was
okay.
My sister's. I hope she's not looking for that. But look at this. We got the. It's still pristine. Look at that. I love this little mini disc with the little championship on it that's not in the game. But we'll get into that later. I'm excited. Let's follow up last week. We played Gekkito Burning Pro Wrestling. I think every time I said it, I forgot the pro part in Burning Pro Wrestling, but that's okay. We both enjoyed it. A little Fire Pro clone, but enough meat on the bone to distance itself from that series. I very much enjoyed it.
And having played another Fire Pro clone on Future Endeavored last week, this one was a welcome change for the better.
You played Thunder Pro Retsuden, right?
Yeah, which was not great.
No.
But yeah, Gekkito, very great game. It's been a while since we've had a roster read that was at least 2 minutes long. So it was nice to get back into the swing of things.
That was brutal. It's always brutal when we have to read those long rosters, but
I don't know, that
pretty
Fiverr
funny.
thing.
It's pretty funny.
Kind of on that Fiverr thing again.
Yeah, that's what we got to do from now on. But I think we handled it pretty well. We sped through it. But
oh yeah,
when we hit 1,000 Twitter follows, we will drop the video game history of Mick Foley. That's all 4 faces of Foley, including the man himself. So we're currently at 831. We are getting there. But speaking of Twitter, we did a little competition last week. Little giveaway for this guy right here, the Dylan Swaggle Postal Major Bendy. As of now, it's unclaimed. So we're going to give you till this episode drops to claim it, Corey Heck. And if not, it's going to have to go to the number 2. So,
damn.
But are you ready? Because I have been waiting for this all week. My nostalgic... I don't even have nostalgia goggles for this episode because I play this game frequently.
I was going to say, you've just got, your controller in hand.
We're good.
You're ready to go. This is the Johnny Clash appreciation episode.
I like that.
That's all this is. If you go and watch the playthrough on our YouTube channel, you will hear me say that there are very few games that I just wholeheartedly associate with Johnny Clash. This is one of those games. So this is the Johnny Clash appreciation episode. Are you ready? Are you just cannonballing in? You're not even walking up to the. You may not even go up to the diving board. You
Running
just might
start. Let's go.
Ignore the no diving signs, and you're just going right in.
That's it. Hey, George. You see this light here that says game over that I point to at the end of every single episode, like Ronda Rousey pointing to that WrestleMania sign?
I do.
Do you know where I got it?
Why don't you tell me?
I got it from Zavvi. That's us.zavvi.com, Zavvi, and they literally have everything. I have spent hours on this website looking up Mandalorian, Jurassic Park, Harry Potter, like everything you could imagine. There's Legos, Power Rangers. You could pre-order the new Marvel Legends. It's an insane website that has literally everything pop culture. There's even Batman shoes on here.
I mean, I know for me, a little like adult Zen garden project that I like to do is like the smaller Lego sets, and Zavi has a lot of those Lego sets on there and getting kind of itchy. So if you like all things pop culture, like John said, Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Harry Potter, Nintendo, they're even getting into the wrestling game now.
Oh yeah.
Zavi is the place for you.
That's right. Use code GameMarks, simply just GameMarks, at checkout, and you can get 10% off.
I'm going to redo my wardrobe.
So George, before we get started, I got my this little thing from Zavi here. Let me show you this.
Oh.
It's a big boy. But look at this. It's a nice little case here. You open it up. You got the games, the Blu-rays.
Oh, look at that.
You put the controllers on the side, the headset up top. It's a nice little piece for my collection here. So,
Well, allow me to show you what I got from Zavi.
oh boy,
Because I got this great Boba Fett helmet.
that's like legit. You got to wear that for a whole episode.
I can't put my glasses on and wear this.
Oh, that's the one thing. Not you
That's-
can't hear the microphone. It's the glasses.
No. This is the best part though. Ready?
Ooh,
I love it.
I might have to get one of those.
There's also a Mandalorian one, a Darth Vader one that's coming out. The inside of this, I don't know if this picture, the video is going to pick it up, but like it's also like super detailed inside the helmet as well. Like there's a lot of detail in this.
Do they have Power
in this
Ranger
helmet.
helmets?
They do have Power Rangers.
Oh, I would rather that, I think.
And they have the Power Ranger weapon. If you were a Red Ranger fan and you wanted to get that sword, they have that. They also have the Blue Ranger staff that was also like the Raphael weapon, but it was also a staff.
Yeah.
They have
Wow.
that. Zavi's got everything, man. And I got to tell you, the shipping is...
Oh, lightning fast.
Oh, I mean, yes, but I wasn't even going to say that. I was saying the packaging. Like, it is, there's no peanut job. Everything is, like, in a nice, secure package. And that's something that, it's kind of hit or miss on Amazon. So I appreciate that as well.
And this isn't even part of the ad anymore. We're just going right now because we love it.
Are you going to customize that little...
I don't know.
little
I'm probably
thing?
just going to leave it. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see. But okay, I digress. Here you go. WrestleMania 19.
This is my part. WrestleMania 19, released September 8th, 2003, for the Nintendo GameCube, published by THQ, developed by Ukes, and your other releases in 2003 are WWE Crush Hour, WWE Raw 2, WWE SmackDown Here Comes the Pain, WWE Mobile Madness, not looking forward to that, Backyard Wrestling, Don't Try This at Home, All-Star Pro Wrestling 3, and King of Coliseum.
So obviously, SmackDown Here Comes the Pain is top of the line here.
Oh,
But I think WrestleMania 19 was able to differentiate itself from that game because of the unique revenge mode and gameplay, where it takes the mechanics from WrestleMania X8, which if you think about it are kind of the same mechanics from WrestleMania 2000, from No Mercy, and just built upon for the next console. It's the same heavy, weak grapples with the same type of way you do the finishing moves and all that. You kind of even move the same. It's some of the same animations. So when you have the SmackDown series, you now have the WrestleMania 19 coming out to combat it, but it's so different that I think it stands alone. As you could, we always say we're going to pick one of these to play throughout the year, and you always lean towards the other. But I feel like if you want that wrestling sim that's identical to real life wrestling, you're going to try to play SmackDown Here Comes the Pain at the time. If you want a little more wonky fun, you're going to play WrestleMania 19 because it's got the ridiculous revenge mode where you're throwing construction workers off a building, and nobody is going to play Crush Hour or Raw 2 compared to these.
No, but there's also that aspect that yes, these are THQ Ukes game that came out in 2003, but the animation when you get what is it? When you get hit with the chair or you get hit with the ladder and you do that knocked out where your character's arms go to the side, you just fall back. I feel like that animation is still used in the games today.
Possibly.
Like that animation is in 2K22.
And obviously these go all the way up through Day of Reckoning as well. Most of the animations they just built upon it and made by Day of Reckoning 2, it's a completely different game. And they made it even better. So I think this was the start, because WrestleMania X8, which came before this, it was lacking. I think they were trying to feel out what the GameCube could actually do. Unfortunately, we only get 4 wrestling games or WWE games on the GameCube, and I think this one stands out.
We know the worst.
We know the worst. Wait, what do you think's the worst?
Rumble.
Rumble what?
Isn't Royal Rumble on?
No, that's Dreamcast.
Oh, that's Dreamcast.
That's Dreamcast.
Shit.
No, GameCube, you're getting all of these WrestleMania 8 X8, or you got WrestleMania 19, Day of Reckoning 2, but you're also getting Legends of Wrestling. But WWE, you're only getting 4 titles here. And
you know what the weird thing is that I said that, and then I'm pretty sure that when we played Royal Rumble, I played it forever, which just makes it way worse. But I guess compared to everything else, that's still not great.
No, but you'll notice one similarity here between Raw 2 and Here Comes the Pain with this game. It's pretty much the same soundtrack. You're getting the same soundtrack throughout. I guess they had the license and they just ran with it. Good old THQ.
I mean, why
right?
wouldn't you? Why spend more money?
Yeah, exactly. But while the other games do have licensed music for like entrance themes, I think SmackDown a little bit more. Like Batista, Lita, you're getting the older versions. You're not getting Saliva or Boy Hits Car. You're getting the older versions because that's just what they have to do here.
Yeah.
But okay, let's get into the gameplay here.
Where do we start?
You're getting a new counter system, which I think is the most difficult, but the most important here, because
now, okay, I wanna bring up a question to you really quick, because this is something that I feel like I have struggled with every time we've played this game or this series of game, and I feel like this was the first time that I've played it, and you could even see it in our playthrough together, but this was the first time that I felt that I actually had a pretty good grasp on like the counter system, because I'm so used to like the 1-button counter that to have it be 2 always threw me off. But this was the first time I was like, all right, I think it's finally been drilled into my brain enough that I know what I'm supposed to do now.
You know why? We also know how each other play, and we could predict the next move, which is why sometimes in the grapple, I knew you were going to reverse the grapple. I just started whacking you with like clubs to the back and stuff. It's a feeling out process, but I think it's cool because it keeps it a little more competitive, especially when you're playing against another human character. But the computers are very easy to read. Of course, you get into those like moments with the computer where they're just beating the crap out of you and you can't reverse anything because they keep switching it up, especially in revenge mode once you get to the later chapters. But other than that, you're now getting weak and strong grapples, which were not in WrestleMania X8. So we're going back to like No Mercy, where you're getting the strong and the weak, and it's more familiar, I guess, but also location-specific damage. So now you could target a leg or an arm or a head, and you can make them submit more. Again, not in WrestleMania X8. Felt like that was just a feeling out game. I don't know. The commercials were really like, hey, play as the NWO and use the Wavebird wireless controller. That's all they had. It didn't have a story mode. It just had kind of the tower. It didn't have much. So this was a great upgrade.
I mean, we're going to talk a little bit later about like the real like meat and potatoes of what makes this game great, which is the revenge mode. But I just like the overall matches and the feel of the game feels, I don't know, if you're a fan of this age of video games and like the animation style and the body styles, which John and I realized during our playthrough that everyone is built like a Bendham.
Huge traps, arms
like
out to the side. Stiff.
Massive upper body and then stick legs. Like everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you like this age, this generation of video games, I mean, they just, like John said earlier, they really just took something and just built upon it and added a little bit more, and then we're like, oh, you know what? Well, this worked last time. Let's just keep this going, and we'll just add a little bit more and improve on the things that we can. The big thing that jumped out at me, which you had pointed out a couple of times, but I had noticed as well, is that there's hard cuts on the entrances.
Yes. Very.
Which is weird. Everyone's spinning like they're on a dolly, which is also very weird.
Yeah, but at the same time, they did put a lot into the entrances. Like, say, Kurt Angle, he has his Team Angle, like, hoodie on with the hood up, with the, what's it called, the gold medal. Like, they did add on more stuff to, like, entrance gear and make it more authentic. So, where they might be lacking in some. But I also get it. If you go through the Create a Wrestler here, that's how you build it. It's built in sections that you pretty much copy from other wrestlers. So there is that little like gap in between where I guess they look a little weird. Or say the Hell in a Cell. They walk towards the cell and they just fade out. You don't ever see them go in the cell. Same with the cage.
That's true.
Yeah.
They just kind of walk up to the to like the meeting of the two sections. You're like, all right, well, I guess they just have to rip off the side of the cage and then put it back on so this person could get in there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. But we're getting some new game modes here. You're getting a tutorial, which we always say, play the tutorial, especially if you're unfamiliar with the game. You're getting a shop zone where you could unlock different entrances, different moves, different wrestlers, and the revenge mode. But before we get into the revenge mode, we're going to talk about what game modes you have available. So your exhibition, you have a single tag, triple threat, fatal four-way handicap, and a Royal Rumble. Now,
I have a question.
yes.
When we played this for Gamebury, I think it was 2 years ago now, and you made me play through the revenge mode. Before, I believe you made me play through the tutorial because I was very bad at this series of games. Is this the game where the tutorial is ran by someone?
I can't say I ever did the tutorial, so I don't know.
I feel like...
I didn't need it, you know?
Let me see. I'm going to quick Google now
Google
to
it.
see.
I'm going to explain Royal Rumble right now is the same as if you were playing Revenge Mode, where if you throw someone over or off a cliff, they have to be in the blue health zone to actually get them out. So it isn't just like nowadays where you could just eliminate someone on a whim, just clothesline them over the top. They do have to get to blue, and then you stomp on them. It's Al Snow, tough enough. Duh.
Oh, and he's got voice lines. Oh, he's got his own recorded dialogue for the tutorial mode. It's great.
Yeah, it's surprising. I guess Maven's gone at this time, right? Because that was Shut Your Mouth he was supposed to be in, or in. Yeah, he was in Shut Your Mouth.
Yeah, he's in Shut Your Mouth.
Okay, so then you got your normal match, your hardcore, ladder, table, TLC, cage match, Hell in a Cell, Iron Man, and King of the Ring. We did in our playthrough Hell in a Cell, and of course it was just lovely. It's the same as if you play Day of Reckoning 2, where you have to bust. It's so easy to bust out through the cage. The whole panel goes away after you kick it a few times, throw the guy into it.
That's the thing that the sections of the cage are huge. That's the thing that really threw me off, is that you knocked away a part of the cage, and it wasn't like a small section that we could go through. It was the whole bottom part of the right side of the cage.
But why can't they do that now? Why does it take so long now to...
Because now they're reinforced.
It's so stupid.
Big Red's Hell in the Cell is
you have to have the OMG
reinforced.
moment. I don't know if that's still a thing and all that.
Yeah, it is. I don't know if it's called OMG, but it's like the breakout moment or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Revenge mode. I can't even tell you. At one point, when this game was like my primary game, I tried beating Revenge mode with every wrestler. I had a book. I had them written down, who I got up to. I think I did like 4 or 5 because it takes forever. But
yeah, that's a lot.
But I did it. But there's also some alternative endings here that if you do with certain wrestlers, you'll get something different. So the game starts with you're getting tossed out of the building. Vince McMahon wants you gone. And you see Stephanie. And she offers you a contract. And she wants revenge on her dad. This is coming back around in real life, huh?
Yeah.
By destroying WrestleMania 19. So with that, you sign a contract. And you have... What are the stages? You have the construction zone, the harbor, the shopping mall, and the parking lot. And then WrestleMania 19 is the last one that you have to get to. So you literally go through these, and you have to beat up construction workers, boss characters who are not real wrestlers, and real wrestlers. Which is a little nuts sometimes because it gets very hard because it's just you. And say, I know there's one in the shopping mall where there's 2 cars, and you're in the middle. And you have to destroy their car. They have to destroy your car, but there's 3 of them, 1 of you.
Oh, geez.
So you have to beat that card before they beat theirs, which is not easy at all. And we're going to play through that. Now, I have the whole thing on our YouTube channel. I played as Shawn Michaels, and it's in its entirety, but I think we're going to go back. We're going to do it again for, I think, Game Over, and I want to see you do most of this because it's just so much fun. I know there's one in the parking lot where you have to climb up, and then there's 3 sets of chains that move like left and right, and you have to swing, and it's 1, 2, 3, and you swing from one to the other. So you have to time them right. You have to get through 3 of them, get onto the little pedestal thing, and then go to a next one. So it's not easy.
No, thank you.
The end of parking lot is very hard, and I think the end of harbor was very hard because you have to like stack all these boxes, but they could break the boxes, climb a pole, get up to the roof. It's not easy. So this is where the alternative ending comes in.
I have to play that?
Yes. So at one point, you and Goldberg walk down the hallway and you kind of nod to each other. And you're like, what? That's weird. Why did that just happen? So after you beat Vince at WrestleMania, Stephanie goes to hand you the briefcase full of cash, but she takes it back and shakes her head no. Goldberg comes in and just spears her, and the money goes flying everywhere. So he's on your side. Now, here's the alternative. If you play as Goldberg, you're first person spearing her.
Oh,
and the money still goes flying.
That's cool.
Yeah, so they changed it up there. They didn't just add like Brock in his spot. They actually did a new ending for that, so it was pretty cool. And
that's neat.
You also get little cutscenes at the end of each level you complete where Stephanie's happy and, you know, the harbor explodes or whatever it is. It's so ridiculous, but it's just so much fun. You could play it over and over again.
If you go to our YouTube page, and you watch me play through the first section that John wanted me to play for this. I have some trouble, but hopefully the next time that we go back to it, I'll be a little bit better in terms of.
I'll coach you.
Yeah, put me through the tough enough coaching here.
All right, but are you ready for the roster? Let's see who's included in this game.
John, I think. Do you want me to take this roster?
How about I do it, and then you do the unlockables, the removed characters, and the arenas.
Okay, great.
Your roster for WrestleMania 19. Al Snoo, Batista, The Big Show, Booker T, Brock Lesnar, Bubba Ray Dudley, Chavo Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, Christian, Christopher Nowinski, Dawn Marie, Devon, Eddie Guerrero, Edge, Goldberg, Goldust, Hulk Hogan, The Hurricane, John Cena, word life John Cena, Kane, Kurt Angle, Lance Storm, Lita, Matt Hardy, Randy Orton, Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair, Rikishi, The Big Quiche, RVD, The Rock,
We're going to do that.
Scott Steiner, Shawn Michaels, Stacy Keibler, Stephanie McMahon, Steve Austin, Tajiri Test, Tori Wilson, Triple H, Trish Stratus, The Undertaker, William Regal, Victoria, and Vince McMahon.
And your unlockable bosses. Some familiar names here if you're a THQAKI guy. Agent 1, Agent 2, Agent 999, Kado, Bacchus, Bartender Bismarck, Behemoth, Bouncer Jack, Black Widow, that's a character from WCW NWO World Tour, Champ Bomberhead, Hanzo Man from WCW NWO Revenge, Jagoro, Kim Chi from Revenge, Master Builder, Ming Chi from Revenge, Ricky, Rowdy Smith, Sergeant Gregory, Victor Romanov, Yaksha. Removed characters, John. This one's going to hurt. Rico, Val Venus, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, at this point, Jeff was doing his first Ring of Honor run headed to TNA, where he was not very welcomed in Ring of Honor, but it all worked out in the end.
And your arenas, you've got Raw, SmackDown, SummerSlam 2002, Royal Rumble 2003, WrestleMania 19. Who'd have thought that would be in this game? The construction site, the shopping mall, parking lot, the harbor, and the warehouse.
Right, and this game came out after the actual WrestleMania 19, so they were able to actually get the set in there. Sometimes games are titled, a year or two before, and you get like the year before set. Like the next game, you're gonna get, I think it was Raw 2. You're getting the WrestleMania. Don't listen to me. Who knows what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying, right? Sometimes you get the year prior's set. This time you get the actual set. Oh my God. It's early. Sorry. But let's talk about this cover here. And you know what? It's right in front of me, so I'm going to talk about it. But before we do that, actually, the roster. It's set up like a fighter, like Street Fighter, like an arcade game where everyone's face is on the screen at once, like WCW Nitro. You don't have to scroll. You just pick who you want. You check the icon. I missed that in games. I get it. There's too many to do that with now. There's hundreds of wrestlers in a game, not whatever, like 70 that's in this game. But I do miss it. It's just a lot easier.
I do miss that as well, especially now that the rosters are so large in all these games that you don't have to scroll for 40 minutes.
Right. So you're getting on the cover here. You're getting Kurt Angle front and center, who is in the main event of WrestleMania 19 with Brock Lesnar, who's surprisingly not on this cover. You're getting Stone Cold and The Rock, who had their last match together at WrestleMania 19, which was a classic indeed. I just think it's just an epic cover. The gold in the background with the arena.
It's awesome.
It's so cool. It kind of resonates with the opening FMV or whatever you want to call it of this game, where it's just a beautiful video package about WrestleMania and showcase of the Immortals where legends are made and all that.
Yep.
Now, on the back cover, you have Stephanie McMahon. You have The Undertaker.
There's Brock.
Yeah, there's Brock taking an angle slam from the top rope. Not a shooting star. Shawn giving an elbow drop, and you have Undertaker power bombing a construction worker off a building, which
A construction worker that for some reason looks like it could be Spike Dudley.
it does. Sabotage Vince's empire, it says. Of course, a nice THQ cover. They're always hitting it on the head. Only for GameCube, as we know, so that's cool. Now, I mentioned this before, the actual disc. We know the GameCube discs were a lot smaller. I love that this one has the World Championship belt on it. Now, Here's the thing. Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle. I'm going to actually do a quick Google here, so I'm for sure. Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle was the main event of WrestleMania 19, and that was for the Undisputed title belt, which was not this championship belt. So, but actually, wait. Triple H versus Booker T for the World Heavyweight Championship. That happened here as well.
Oh.
But in the game, it's the round old WWF Championship from WrestleMania X8. So they don't actually have that programmed into the game. Like when you do the ladder match and such, it's the old championship, not the Undisputed. You don't get that till Day of Reckoning and Day of Reckoning 2, where it's like parts of the story.
Oh, okay, got it.
So I guess you're not really getting championships in this game at all. So that's probably why. It's still pretty cool. It's a very cool looking disc. Usually they just repeat the cover and the logo, but this one's pretty unique. But George, you want to talk about the art style here? What this game actually looks like?
Yeah, I mean, the game itself holds up pretty well as long as you are okay with wrestling as a Bendham. No, I mean, the entrances are great. You know, it's a game from 2003, so do with that information what
It's
you
still
will,
a step up from WrestleMania X8.
and it still looks good. Like, there are some glaring issues in terms of, like, some of the wrestlers' proportions, and, like, obviously, like, the textures and stuff aren't, you know, what they are today, but for 2003, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. The arenas look great. The wrestlers' entrance and the lighting of the arena, all that stuff looks great.
John Cena with his chain and his little bowl hat.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The little
His little Word Life pinkies.
Yep. That was, I was just saying, his little rings, his little brass knuckles, but that were actually like a four finger ring.
Yeah. He beat Big Show with those next year at WrestleMania 20.
I will say this. I kind of wish that the HUDs were smaller. They weren't big and like distracting, but there's like when you're in your special and that like texture's on top of it, it's very distracting.
Really? I guess
That little
I might be used
glow
to it.
thing that happens over it.
Maybe because it's on top, not the bottom. We're
Yeah.
used to them tucked away on the bottom here.
I think that may be what it is for me. But I mean, it's not. It doesn't like break the game. It doesn't like, you know. It's not like it's. We've played games where the HUD is taken up 75% of the screen. So it's not that bad. But I noticed it a couple times when you were kicking my ass.
Yeah.
Where
it's a cool
animation. Oh yeah, it's awesome. I just wish it was like a little bit smaller.
And again, it's the same as like No Mercy, where when you're red, you're hot. When you're blue, you're about to lose. And you could actually store finishers. You press A and B to bust them out, and you get that little music where it's same thing. You get knocked down, just like No Mercy, you get right back up. Head. And you could hit a finisher. You could hit two. You could do the double tap. As long as you have that animation going, you could keep hitting them. So.
I will say this. I feel like you can come... You could come out of nowhere and hit your finisher and then immediately get countered with like something else. So you can't counter the finisher. I tried a million times, but I suck at it. And
you have to use both L and R.
Well, that'll do it.
Yeah.
But the ability where you can get hit with something, get back up, and then potentially hit like a big move that could change the course of the match is something that I feel like you didn't have typically in this like age of game. Like that's something that definitely happens in like current titles where like you get hit with a finisher, you can counter something, get up, hit a big move, and kind of like go back into just like having a regular match. Where I feel like in the older generations of games, it's like you hit a finisher and you pretty much could just pin that person and it's up. This gives you a little bit more of a fighting chance.
Yeah, I think so. I don't like that you have to use the joystick to get up and get out of pins. It's not.
Yes, I wish it was just like a button mash.
Yeah, it's not a button mash. You have to like. The easy way is to just take the joystick and just swipe it over and over again. But I'm not a big fan of that. I think it's. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So we have an ad here. I actually put the German one in here because it was a better resolution, but the US one underneath it. It's a big magazine ad, a 2-pager with Brock Lesnar, big with gold, Undertaker, Stone Cold, Shawn, like all the classics in the background, Hogan, Ric Flair. It says we're superstars, yeah. Where superstars become legends, and it's got the screenshots from the back of the game. Look hard enough and you'll see memories of legends past challenging you to become a legend of the future. I miss magazine ads because there's barely magazines anymore, and all the ads are just online, which... it just loses something.
Yeah, I'm with you. I miss the old school when you like would be reading WWF magazine and all of a sudden be like, oh, this is the game that I want to get.
Yeah, Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Or there was another one. I don't remember that. I used to get that. Oh, wow. World of Wrestling. That's what it was.
Yep.
That was my go-to. Like my mom would go to the grocery store and come back with one. Be like, oh, cool. I'd be like, oh, Stone Cold and The Rock are fighting again, but it was just like 2 months prior's magazine. We didn't talk about the crowd. A little papery, but more designed than WrestleMania X8. They kind of move like in waves, like A and B, like
it's not the worst looking crowd, and it's not the worst animated crowd.
The signs are very repetitive.
Yeah, I say far from the best though. It gets the job done. But it's nothing to write home about.
They're also just not in your face, and they can fade off into the distance while you wrestle, and you don't really acknowledge them. But did you know? Did you know this video game's roster includes 3 WWE superstars that were cut from SmackDown? Here Comes the Pain, Al Snow, Hulk Hogan, and William Regal.
Did you know this is the only WWE video game released in 2003 not to feature A-Train, Jazz, Kevin Nash, Rhino, Rico, Steven Richards, or Val Venus? However, some of their entrances are still in the Create a Wrestler mode.
Did you know WrestleMania 19 is on eBay for around $14 disc only and $25 in the box, with a brand new Japanese copy going for $50?
Ooh.
Now, the Japanese one was actually a nice, like, a box. It was like a DVD box. So that was kind of cool. But okay, we haven't had...
collection?
Maybe. We haven't had some good reviews in a while. It's been all Game FAQ user ratings. But right now, it is time for an actual rating and review segment. So let's
Give me that music.
Get that R&R. Metacritic with the overall score of 76 out of 100. EGM with a 7.17 out of 10. Game Informer with a 7.75 out of 10. Game Pro with a 4 out of 5. GameSpot, 7.5 out of 10. GameSpy with a 3 out of 5. GameZone with a 7.8 out of 10. IGN, here we go, 8 out of 10. Nintendo Power, 4 out of 5. Nintendo World Report, 8 out of 10. And XPlay, 3 out of 5. So overall, it's like it's in the above average but not perfect category, which I could agree with. I think about what else was out around these years. You got Here Comes the Pain, which is probably a perfect game, and this was a little bit less than that, but to each their own. Now, this is cool. This game was nominated for Best Fighting Game at the 2003 Spike Video Games Awards, but that was won by Here Comes the Pain. But also nominated was Backyard Wrestling, Don't Try This at Home, Bloody Roar 4, Capcom vs. SNK 2 EO, Def Jam Vendetta, Pride FC, Soul Calibur 2, and Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. So that's
one of these games is not like the other.
But that's a
one of these games
tier.
is Backyard Wrestling.
That's if you count Def Jam, that's 4 wrestling games, which is kind of cool. And I mean, of all these, you get Virtua Fighter, Soul Calibur, which is so good. Capcom versus SNK, Here Comes the Pain 1, so that's awesome.
I think Soul Calibur is going to be our next OMG.
I am so down for that. Just give me Spawn. Let me be Spawn. But all right, we heard the ratings from the professionals, a nice R&R segment, but now it's time for our ratings because it is time to rate the game.
The game!
We're also professional.
No, we're not because Wikipedia won't accept our Play It Forever as
true.
an actual rating. But George,
Johnny Clash.
no, you already know. You already know. I'm gonna get to you first. I want to hear your thoughts. Will you play it forever or future endeavor?
You're fired!
I mean, the game's great. I like the game a lot. It was a good time. I think in terms of the WrestleMania series, this is the one that I had the most fun with, just based off the level of replayability. Like, yes, you could go in, you could play a bunch of matches, you can do all that, but then also the revenge mode is not only an interesting break from like the typical style form of a wrestling game, it is incredibly unique storyline wise, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Everything about this, the move animations were great, the arenas look great, wrestlers were great. Love wrestling as bendies. Play it forever.
Woo!
All right.
Yeah, we know your answer.
Yeah. It's a Play It Forever.
Johnny Clash, play it forever, future endeavor.
Play it forever, but I gotta say, I keep saying WrestleMania, the arcade game, I'm looking up at the beautiful poster, is my favorite wrestling game of all time. This is like favorite game of all time B.
Yeah, this is
think,
like 1 and 1A.
I think they swap back and forth depending on what I actually played last. But yeah, there's something about this one, whether it's the Ruthless Aggression era roster, like the start of it right after the Attitude era, the improvements from WrestleMania X8, which I also loved at the time, but then you kind of forget about it once this game comes out. But then the revenge mode is just, it's great. It's so much fun. It's just different than, who stole the world title? Oh, I'm going to fight at WrestleMania for the title. It's just so different. It's great.
Yep, 100% agree.
But okay.
Good game this week.
Yeah, great game. But it's time to now enter the soft lock.
All right, Soft Lock is a weekly segment where one of our mega marks from the Patreon group gives us a topic, and John and I debate that topic for about 5-10 minutes, go back and forth. Sometimes we fight on the same side and try to see the opinion of the other side, and other times we're arguing the entire time. But this question this week is very interesting. This comes from Soups, and Soups would like to know if we could be mayor, governor, president, prime minister, king, or ruler of a video game world, what would it be and why?
This is a tough one because I feel like your mind goes to like GTA because it's a nice big open world, but look at the chaos that happens within
that's
that
why I was just
open
like,
world.
maybe Pokemon.
Again, though, look at all the chaos in there.
No, but maybe like one of the early ones.
Who's in
where it
charge
wasn't
of
like
that world? Who's the Pallet Town governor?
Johnny Clash.
Is Professor Oak just like in charge of the
I
world?
get maybe like the professors are also like the governors in that story.
Or like what's it called? The League of what are they? Pokemon League? Is that what their name?
The Elite Four.
The Elite Four, but isn't that like a league that's
Yeah, it's a Pokemon League, but you battle the Elite Four.
right? Yeah. Maybe they're in charge. Man. I mean, I just started finally playing through The Last of Us 2. I mean, I've only had the game since a pre-order.
Don't say The Last of Us. That's not good.
No, but in The Last of Us 2, think of like the later Walking Dead episodes when they finally have like a community. And there's
Yeah, but you're still living in a world that's overrun by zombies
But
at the end of the day.
it's finally a town with like organization, with food, with shelter, with houses, with people like all having jobs, people on watch. I think that would be kind of cool. There's just a few clickers. There's barely any zombies left.
Yeah. You know what? You know what the easy answer is? Oh God, what the
Pikmin?
hell is the name of that game?
Animals
No.
Crossing?
Animal Crossing. That one. That's the
That's the answer.
easy one.
Yeah.
That'd be Tom Nook.
Oh, God. I haven't played that in so long. Well, let's go fishing. But yeah, I'm going to go with The Last of Us 2. I think it would be a nice little, like, Rick Grimes, little town guy, and yeah, it was cool.
I want to go Pokemon. I think that's the easy world.
Okay, you're always taking the easy way.
I want to. If I'm gonna live in a world, I want to live in a world where there's like, not zombies.
All right, I get it.
Just animals that can control the weather.
I don't want to live in the Crush Hour world where Vince McMahon runs everything because that just sounds like a lot of legal issues. But okay.
Would you like to live in WrestleMania 19 where you can fight people in a parking garage and have to destroy 3 cars in under 10 minutes?
That doesn't sound bad. But all right, it's now time for your gaming news. All right, the gaming news is sponsored by WrestleChamps, new for the iOS and Android. Go download today and become champion. And hey, we're in the game. Your gaming news, God of War Ragnarok launches on PS4 and PS5 November 9th, 2022. And if you caught the game that was free, I think last month on the PlayStation Network, it was God of War, and I downloaded it and I'm ready to play. Square Enix and Luminous Productions' upcoming RPG, Forspoken, has been delayed once again, this time to 2023. And now Rockstar Games insider Tez2 says Rockstar is currently aiming to release GTA 6 sometimes between late 2023 and early 2024, which is way sooner than expected, I think because of the flop of the re-release of the classics, which people aren't really talking about anymore after a lot of glitches and such. But this is the big news here. Def Jam's on Twitter posted, which one would you want to see next? Def Jam fight for Atlanta, LA, Chicago, or Miami? I feel like every once in a while they might have even posted this or before. They're kind of testing the waters or just teasing. I don't know if this is ever going to happen.
I want it so bad.
What would you go with?
Be so.
I think you got to go LA or Miami.
I was saying, so we had New York, so I feel like we got to get we got to go West Coast.
Yeah, I think LA would be cool.
Yeah.
I want Lil Wayne in a video game.
Oh, I feel like this is going to be a soft lock question one day, but like they're going to make us book a Def Jam roster.
Well, let's do it. All right, your games releasing this week, not many. You got XEL for the PC on July 12th, Rune Factory 5 on July 13th, and then July 14th, you're getting Clanfolk for the PC and XEL for the Switch. I don't know what XEL is. Is it a popular game here? We're not getting the heavy hitter releases right now. We're probably going to get that when September or October comes around. XEL is an epic 3D sci-fi fantasy action adventure. Okay. Nothing I'm interested in.
All right, youtube.com/GameMarksPodcast for our weekly playthrough videos, exclusive content, and a whole lot more, including this week and every other week's game. John, what is happening on Patreon?
All right, Monday, you're getting the ad-free show as well as the show notes. We're going to put those all out together from now on. Tuesday, you're getting GMP Game Over, where we play through... What are we playing through? We still playing through No Mercy title mode?
I think we have to finish the European title.
That's right, European title. Wednesday, Future Endeavored. Last week, George played through Thunder Pro Wrestling Retsuden. This week, I am playing through HAL Wrestling for the Game Boy. Thursday... Last week we did Discord Game Night, which was a lot of fun. We played Jackbox, we played Among Us, but this week you're getting one more game, OMG! And then we actually have we're kind of switching the date around here for unsanctioned GMP 64 pay-per-view. I think we could tentatively say August 7th, but this week we'll come back with a definitive date.
Yeah, I think the 7th is fine. We were going to do it the 24th, but Creative Pro. Johnny's booked.
I'm booked. Booked too good-itis. The once a month I'm booked.
We're going to do it the first week of August.
All right, George, but tell us now, what are we playing next week?
We are going from the highest of highs to potentially the lowest of lows, John. This week we played WrestleMania 19. Next week, we're going back to the PlayStation 1. We are playing Simple 1500 Series, The Pro Wrestling. Now, this is a non-WWE generic version of SmackDown 1.
Right, okay. Wow, this looks interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be... some of the character models and the body types that they've made for these people, we're going to have a fun time.
Okay, sounds good to me. Take us home.
John, I hope you had a great time this week.
I'm going to probably play this today.
Yeah, I had a feeling. I had a feeling. All right, GameMarksPod.com/shop for all of our exclusive merchandise. ProWrestlingTees.com/GameMarksPod for all of our new shirt designs. And Patreon.com/GameMarksPod for all of our exclusive content like show notes, exclusive content, and a whole lot more. At GameMarksPod on all forms of social media. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you have a product or service that you would like to advertise on this podcast, please reach out to us at GameMarksPod@gmail.com. That's it.
That's it.
John, there's nothing else to do but to tell you to point to that sign and do that thing that you do.
Game over. Marks.
Game Marks Podcast, put them on the radar. Playing rare games, Sega Saturn, no Game Shark. Johnny and George work hard and they play hard. Future Endeavor games and put them in the graveyard. From the deep dive to the clash at the feast. How can I get more? That's question of the week. Follow on Twitch, there's nothing that they won't play. Game Marks Podcast every single Monday.